Know your worth. Know what you're worth. Now, there are two kinds of worth that exist in us as humans. There is spiritual worth, and there is mental worth. Spiritual worth is I am a soul, I am human, I have things I deserve. These things you deserve is you deserve to eat, you deserve to live, deserve to breathe, drink water, things like that. But in order to deserve those things, you must work for them. Up until the time you're 18, according to the law, your parents provide for you, generally. So, up until then, you're good. But when you're out on your own, you need to earn your food. You need to earn what you want. You should work for what you want. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Now I understand there are people who can't, and they still have divine spiritual worth. The second is mental worth. I see most of America does not have mental worth. They are surface deep. They are, in a sense, subhuman. I like to refer to them as surface dwellers, because they're only surface deep in all actuality. I say something controversial or deep, and they say, oh, I don't care, or I don't want to talk about it, or I don't feel like I have the right. You are a human. You are the divine breath of God. It was breathed into you, just like how it was Adam. That's what a soul is. It's the divine breath of God. It's a little piece of divine essence. You have the ability to think. You have the ability to function. The question you'd ask yourself is, do you have a brain? Yes. Have you ever thought about anything? And the answer to that will also be yes. Then congratulations, you have the ability to think deeply. So, really, when you refuse to think about those kind of things, if they are dangerous at all, you are letting them be danger to you. For example, let's say the controversy of gun control comes into play in the conversation, and the US government, 10 years from now, whatever, has introduced a bill that would make all firearms illegal to own, punishable by prison time, the exception of police and military. Let's say someone asks your opinion. If you say, oh, I don't know, I don't care, I don't want to think about it, and then they come for your firearms, you don't get the right to complain. You didn't take a stand. You didn't do anything like that. And those of us that do think deeply, which everyone has the ability to, sometimes you just have to make yourself to start it out. The intellectuals, I like to call us creatures of the deep. And creatures of the deep have a tendency to analyze both sides of arguments. So let's say the topic of abortion comes up and someone says, on the topic of abortion, what is your opinion on this? And you say, well, a liberal might say the woman has the right to have an abortion or not. And a conservative might say, oh, it's wrong, it's murder. Well, if you ask a conservative and then you ask them, okay, why is it wrong, and have you looked into the other side? They will generally say, no, they haven't. Well, if you haven't looked into the other side of an argument, how do you know yours is right or wrong? You haven't looked at other possible evidence. There is always evidence on both sides, generally. So all I'm asking you to do is look at both sides and don't be so close-minded to say, never assume you are absolutely right. I don't ever assume that. I know I could always be wrong. You should always be open to be disproved wrong and evolve intellectually with what you know, and evolve. That's what science is. Science is theories or sets of ideas that have proof backing them up. But they're not facts, they're theories that have, they're ideas, hypotheses that have proof backing them up. Hypothesis that has proof backing it up. But these change over time. These things that we are sure of, like scientific laws, they've been changed before. Nothing is certain. One of my favorite quotes of all time is by a 17th century German philosopher and literature expert named Friedrich Nietzsche. And he said, there are no facts, just observations. Okay, what we see as humans is just out of this. It's not up here. We don't see through an all-seeing eye. We don't know the big picture, so we can only see what we see as an individual. And we can learn great amounts of information, but what we see is limited. So, that's what I want to take with you today. Don't be subhuman. Work on becoming a evolved intellectual. And I'm not evolved, I'm working on bettering myself every day, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So, next time you hear something you disagree with, look into the other side. As a matter of fact, here's my challenge for you all. Find a book or a writing by a philosopher or someone intelligent throughout history and read it. And at the end of it, write a short summary of what your thoughts were on it. Any observations you made, anything. And hey, I hope you guys have a wonderful night.